Okay, now I want to move on to hybrid selections. And hybrid selections, basically what it means is combining select by attribute and select by location. And this is really where things get interesting, and you'll find a lot of the questions in the practical will be hybrid selections. So I might say to you now, the practical might be a bit challenging at some stages. Right? There's a few questions in there that is a bit challenging, so you're going to have to spend a bit of time on this and practice and play around and make mistakes. You're not going to get it right the first time, okay? But that's the only way to get your head around select by location, select by attribute, and then hybrid selection as well. Okay, so what I want to do now, I'm going to clear my selection. I'm going to go to select by attributes. Note that my previous query, is still there. Okay, so I'm just going to apply it again. So I've selected just all the mines that are either gold or silver in the COM2 field. So those are the two that are selected in terms of the attributes. We could again use the and or all statements as we did previously, but I think for now, let's just, for the sake of illustration, let's just keep it to this. Okay, so I've selected a few mines now based on the attributes. Now I'm going to go to select by location, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say select from the currently selected features in active mines. In other words, it's only going to use those ones that I've now selected using select by attributes, the ones in blue. So select from the currently selected features in attributes, those that are within a distance of, again, 1 kilometer of rivers. And I'm going to say apply. And now we can see there's only 2 mines that remain. Okay, so there's only 2 mines that meet all the conditions that I specified. So I specified conditions based on the attributes that we selected based on select by attribute, and I also specified a condition based on the spatial location of these mines relative to rivers. Okay, and I considered all of those, and it boiled down to these 2 mines being selected at the end of the day. So we can do this the other way around as well. And we can first do select by location, and from them then refine our selection based on select by attribute options. Let's use the vegetation a bit. Okay, so let's open the vegetation layer. Let's see, we've got biomes here. Okay, so let's use those. Okay, so I'm going to do a select by attributes. I'm going to say I want to select from vegetation. I want to select based on my biomes, those that are, let's see, let's select the grassland. Or the biome can equal, let's say, savanna. Apply. Okay, so I now selected the grassland and the savanna biomes based on select by attribute. Okay, so let's say I now want to see which mines fall within these biomes. So for that, it's going to be select by location. So again, I'm going to select mines, okay, but I'm going to do a new selection. Why? Because I can't say select from current selection in mines because there's no mine selected. What I've selected is the vegetation. Okay, so I'm going to say select from active mines, okay, those that are within these vegetation areas that are selecting, these biomes that are selected. And see what happens. Okay, let's have rivers there. This use selected feature option does not exist. Okay, the moment I select vegetation, it opens up. Why? Because I've selected 243 features in vegetation, and those are these that I see here. Okay, so what I now want to do is I want to check this box, because if I check it, it will only look within the selected areas. In other words, everything else on this side is going to be excluded. It's not going to consider these mines. It's only going to consider the selected features in the vegetation layer, which is my grasslands and my savanna. Okay, so that's what I want, because I want to know which mines fall within them. Okay, so this is when we check this box. Sorry, I earlier referred to this. I was meaning that I want to get to this box here that we need to check. Okay, and what's going to be my selection method? It's going to be, can be intersect. Okay, because what will intersect do? Intersect will go and look where does my points intersect these polygons. Okay, so they're going to select then, let's apply it, all of the mines that intersect these selected polygons. But if I were to say are within, it would give me, ooh, okay, there's an area because there's some relational issues with some of my layers. Okay, but it's still selected most of them. Okay, because it's a similar selection type, because it will identify the mines that are within these selected polygons. Okay, so either of these would have been usable in this instance. Okay, so let's just stick with intersect. Okay, don't worry about that error. That's an error with regard to the data. Okay, so that's now a way in which I first selected by attribute again, using polygons, and I selected my location based on those polygons that I selected in the previous step when I did select by attributes. So that's just the other way around. In the first example, I selected from mines first and select by attribute, and then refined my selection. In this instance, in the select by attribute, I refine my selection for the source layer that I would use. Okay, so you can use it in different ways, but in essence, select by attribute and select by location, when we combine them, we talk about hybrid selections. So that's using both the selection methods to select certain features. And why is this applicable? You'll use it when you have specific questions that you want to answer. For instance, like the one about the mines. I want to know, which mines are on the grasslands and within a kilometer of rivers, so I can refine it now further. I selected the mines now within these vegetation types. Okay, so I have them now. So let's just close this for a second. So if I open active mines, what I have here, there's 264 selected mines, are mines that are within the savanna and grassland biomes. Okay, but let's now say we also want to know which of these mines are within 500 meters of perennial rivers specifically. Okay, so what would be the first step? The first step won't be a select by location now again. We first now need to identify which of these rivers are perennial. So I'm going to go to select by attributes. I'm going to go to my rivers. And I'm going to go to, now I did not check which field I should use. Let's see, maybe it's class. Okay, we can use that. So class equals perennial river. Okay, so I want to select from rivers, a new selection, those that are perennial rivers. Okay, so now in the background there, these perennial rivers have been selected. Now I can go back to select by location, okay, to see, select from active mines, but I want to select from the currently selected features in active mines. Why? Because I just went through the trouble of selecting the mines that are within the biomes, the grassland and the savanna biomes, right? So I just want to focus on them. So I want to select from the currently selected features in mines, and I want to know which of these mines are within a kilometer of rivers, but not all rivers. I want to use the selected rivers, the perennial rivers that I just selected using select by attributes. Okay, so I'm selecting from my selected mines that adhere to my previous criteria in terms of savanna and grasslands, those that are within a kilometer of rivers that are perennial. I'm going to say okay. If I open the attribute table for mines, we can see only 15 of these remain. And now I can go further again. Select by attributes, go to mines, select from current selection those mines that are gold mines. Let's see what remains. There's only 4 of them. Okay, so we only have 4 mines that are within the savanna or grassland biomes and are within a kilometer of perennial rivers and are classified as gold mines in terms of COM1. Okay, so you can see how we can use this hybrid selection method to refine our selection using both the descriptive information in the attribute table and location information from different layers, because we now used both rivers and vegetation types to refine our selection for our mines. Okay, so and you could also see it can become quite a bit, it might become a bit tricky, because you need to be careful that you don't make mistakes and select the wrong methods, don't make new selections, select from the current selection when you need to, and all that. So again, take some time, try to duplicate what I just did using the same data before you do the practical. First try to duplicate this so that you can get a feel for these tools and make sure you do it right, because otherwise you're going to do the practical and you're not going to be sure if the question is, if you answered it correctly. Okay, so first practice it using the tutorial data and try to get these selection tools sorted out so that you're comfortable using them. Make sure you understand the different functions, the logic of the tools, the logic of the selection process, and the important things that are highlighted, such as the syntax, the methods that need to be selected, when which spatial selection method is applicable, and what is a source layer, what is a target layer, and all that.